dummy light don't come off. It's not good.
Okay, start it up. Run it for about 15 to 20 seconds. Why is it running so shitty?
Well, it did have
Once you get off the bike, and let's look inside the oil tank and see if it's returning oil. Where's my flashlight at? Here. There's your flashlight. You want to see if oil's coming back into the tank. I assume you can see that. Well, right now it should have already have bubbles in it. If it's pumping at all, it should have bubbles in it. Right now I don't see no bubbles down there. There you go. So, okay, so let me try to get the carburetor just a little bit too while we're running it. Try to get the thing to idle on something at least. Okay, get a little bit of mixture, a little bit of idle speed. Okay, should light right off, right? Is the gas off? It was off, wasn't it?
It was on.
Why was it dying there? All of a sudden it started to die.
Probably had very little fumes. Showing good. No.
Yeah, it's out of gas.
It's out of gas?
Yeah, I put a little bit of gas in there.
See, well, that explains why I wanted to die all of a sudden.
It's not getting no fucking oil. What's up?
Okay, ignition's off, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it has oil in the pump. You're not getting no flow back?
No bubbles. I don't see no movement.
Where'd the light go? It ran long enough, it should have got flow. Return flow. Did you have the cam cover off at all or anything?
Nope. Never.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that make an oil pump not work, but it has oil in the pump because we primed it. When you popped the fitting off, it had oil going out the bottom of the pump, so we know the gears are full of oil. We primed it through the top here, so it had oil there. Let's pull off this other plug right here on the tappet screen hole. Pull out what's hot down there. Okay, if it's got oil comes out, just put it back down, but that should have oil in that gallery right now, if it has oil pressure.
Done.
Well, you got the screen upside down on that damn thing? Should have behind you. This one. Why they got that in upside down? Dumbasses. Okay, well that's your oil pressure, your lifters. Okay, crank the motor and stop it. Should pump oil out of there pretty quickly if it comes on at all. It's blowing air up through the hole, not oil. Try it again. Okay, that's oil pressure.
So the screen was upside down. Yeah.
That goes in normal. That goes in down. Pull the thing out and look at it. Okay, well, it's got oil pressure. It's coming up through the oil gallery. The lifters aren't making noise. It would be full of oil. It'd be, you know, making noise like crazy as long as we ran it already, you would think. Where's the camera at? Okay, they got this thing all crushed in here. Damn. Dumbasses. I don't know why people put these things in upside down all the time. Stupid. Okay, go blow that out, make sure there's nothing inside of that. I don't feel anything, but go blow it with the airline. The airline's over here. Go use the, grab the nozzle over there and go plug it in the airline over there.
Where do I get the nozzle?
Nozzle's up top there, in the hook. Plug it in the line that's on the vise over there. It's easier. Okay, so we got, it's pumping oil because it's blowing up through there, but we got no oil pressure. Now, if the crank had an open out gallery to the crank, non-restricted oil gallery into that crankshaft, it'd suck every ounce of oil that pump made. I've had that issue before. Doing the pinion shaft, they got this, the restrictor in the end of it. Right here. Okay, then nothing came out? Okay, that goes in like that. Springs on top. Where's your plug at? Make sure it fits up inside the plug. Not fitting into the plug?
No.
Should fit into the plug. Okay, put it in a hole. Does it go down the bottom of the thread or does it stick up flush?
It sticks up flush.
So that compresses, that's why that thing was crushed. Because normally it sits inside the plug, it sucks into the plug is what it does, most of the time. So I guess some other issues. See about that one. I've run across that problem in oil pumps and stuff when the springs don't go inside like they're supposed to.
Would I try to fucking make it fit, or it's just this is wrong?
Well, it shouldn't be compressed like that, so it should have some tension on it, but it shouldn't be crushed tension like that thing's putting into it. Right now you're compressing that thing a ½ inch because that's how long that thread is on the pump. It still would work, it wouldn't make any difference, it just crushes it. I don't know if it's going to uncover them down here. But, yeah, put it in, don't worry about it, it'll work. It's just going to crush the screen again. It might restrict the flow overall a little bit, but we'll have to deal with that later. We can look for the, we can see about that. But you saw it was squirting oil up through the damn thing.
Yeah. So that means that the pump is working.
I mean, there's oil in the motor. There's no pressure, but there's oil. But the thing is, there's no oil going back to the tank. It should have oil going back to that tank as much oil was inside that motor.
Could it be that the lines are? Well, I never took the.
And that goes through what, an oil filter?
Yeah, the oil filter's in there.
What kind of filter is in it?
It's a drag. It's a long.
Is it an Evo filter or a twin cam filter?
As far as mine understand, he had a Fram. He had a short little fucking Fram filter in there.
If you have a Evo, if you have a twin cam oil filter on it, you will
Yeah.
have not return. You won't return for shit.
It's a long filter. I don't know. I know that they're different inside. I don't.
It's a yeah. It's the material inside of them. Twin cams are pressurized filters, and Harleys are not. They have air and oil mix going back, so they don't have the same filter.
You take the filter out.
That would stop the oil flow returning back. We should still have oil pressure. pull the timing hole plug out and see if there's oil all over the crankshaft. We can try putting a different oil filter on if you want. I don't know which one you would got. You would think they would have put the right filter on it, but there's a lot of stuff that should have been done right. I have had people do that and it doesn't work very good when you get the wrong filter. I don't have any old filters laying around to use for mock-up purposes. There was nothing over there in the old container, was there? No, I didn't think I had anything. Where's the oil filter?
So it's under that fake generator cover.
It's inside the generator?
Yeah, it's a fake cover, fake generator cover. Just 2 screws come off.
Well, if we take the thing off and run it with the filter off the bike, it will return oil. You'll see the oil blowing all over the ground pretty quickly. We can do that. I don't give a shit about stick an oil pan under it. Down until it's real close to getting oil going anywhere. Here's a pan. Otherwise, we can screw another filter on it and see if that makes a difference. Is it dry in there, or?
Let's see your flashlight.
Yeah.
There's oil. There's oil.
The plywood's got oil on it?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see oil.
Okay.
Not a lot, but,
Well,
wet.
it's slinging off at 1500 RPM. So. It's wet. That's the biggest thing. That means there's oil in the motor.
Yeah, the motor came with it had a short. I put that filter in there. I put a new filter, and man, I don't throw a fuck, man. I got it from Chip.
Well, Chip doesn't know what the hell he's doing. You know that. He probably sold you.
It's a twin cam motor. It's a twin cam probably because all they do is twin cam shit.
That's all he works on over there. That's probably the problem right there. All right. Does it have a nut on the end of it or not?
It's just no, it doesn't.
Okay.
Just give me your Allen wrenches, please.
Okay. You just want a plain black oil filter.
Yeah, you ain't gonna see it. You know what, man? I can't.
So 170 is an Evo. 171 is a twin cam. They look identical, but they're not. What? You making comments on the video when I'm not here? Are you swearing again?
It's tired. It's tired, man. I'm alright.
It's even pre-lubed now. Look at that.
Huh?
It's pre-lubed. It's got oil in the thread. I put good oil on there, on the gasket. There's no way of telling what the hell's inside of these things by looking at them, but this one doesn't even have the blow-off valve in it. It used to have in there the rubber anti-blowback valve or drip back valve, whatever they call it. So they changed how these are even being made now. So some kind of a filter wrench probably too.
Yeah. Go to your soft hammer. Ah, never mind.
Chrome? Yeah, I need a chrome inside that black hole. You want to go the other direction, don't you? What are you doing? No, you're doing it the right way. Is Tinkerbell on the way? That thing on there so tight. Did you crank that thing on like 3 turns? Hopefully there's oil inside of that thing. Ain't much oil coming out of there. It's not a good sign. It's dry, isn't it?
Yeah.
It had oil in it at one time, but it ain't got it now.
It's not getting oil.
That thing should have been full of oil, I would think. Maybe not. I don't know. Try this. There's nothing really in this thing.
Could it be that these lines are wrong? I should have.
It still would pump. I don't know what that adapter looks like or how it's made, but if the lines are wrong, it would still go into the filter and out of the filter. You would think. Where's the line coming up from the oil pump? Where's it blowing in at? Can you look at it and see where it blows in at?
It's inside the.
Yeah, pull the filter back off and look in there. The oil should be going on the outside of the oil filter, not the inside. The inside should be returning back to the tank.
This line is. That was the out. This is the out. This is in. This is out. So this is supposed to be going back to the tank?
That's the one that's in the center of the hole, the center of the filter?
Yes.
That would be going to the tank. Is that the one that goes to the tank? Or is it going to the, coming up from the pump? Are they both braided or what? And they're both braided. Yeah, here. This one is the return. This one's going to the tank.
This one?
This one here, that's I'm not holding on to, goes up and down here.
Not the one I'm holding.
This one's the one that comes off the pump. So the one you got goes to the, should be going to the outside of the filter.
It is. It's out here. It's outer fit.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah. This should be on the outside of this, the one on the inside. Can you see where the fittings are actually going to? Not where they're on the pump, but how they come out of this.
Yeah. Well, this one there's a hole here, out into the filter.
All right, and the other one goes to the inside of the filter.
Yeah.
So that's correct. All right, so you have that right.
It goes to the inside. You're saying the inside of the filter.
Here, why don't you put this in front of the filter. Here, put that in front to block the airflow so it doesn't hit you in the face. I'm gonna crank it. See if we get anything.
here, of down here, of this fitting.
So you got nothing, okay.
Oil pump shit, huh?
We're not getting any oil pressure. And no oil flow. There's no oil flow if you got nothing coming out of the oven. That's right off of the oil pump. So that would tell me you look for a key that came out, a snap ring popped off the gear, something inside the cam cover. So I'd blow the cam cover off to see what's going on with that. That's what I would do.
The drive gear for the oil pump is not.
You should have return, even if the pressure wasn't working, you would have return. We have no return. It had oil in there before, because you saw the oil inside the filter. So at one time it was returning oil, but it ain't doing it now.
God damn.
Usually that means the key came off, or clip fell off, the gear came off, something like that. You know, that snap ring pops off, the whole thing comes off the oil pump, it doesn't work. There's two keys on a pump for each section separated, but the drive key is common. We know we got oil in the pressure side because we have, you know, oil's all the way through the whole gear set. It's not cavitated or anything like that. Yet we have no oil pressure. So that tells me if there's an open gallery, so you don't have any buildup of pressure, or the oil pump's not turning. And with no return at all, I'm going to go with the oil pump not turning. Would be my guess. Now the filter you took off, it could be a twin cam or it could be an Evo, we don't know, but we know that right now we have no oil flow being returned. You have oil in the motor, you know, inside the flywheel cavity, so it had oil at one time. You know, and everything shows it had oil pressure at one time. The lifters aren't making noise yet, so they had oil pressure. They got oil in them right now, but they'll start knocking in a little while. I think I'll run too much longer and it'll start knocking the valves. So my guess is something failed inside of there. You want to put that on right now or leave it off so we can check for full return flow? I'd leave it loose for now so we can do more checking. It's midnight. Once you get some sleep, we'll come back tomorrow and you can work on tomorrow. Pull the cam cover off, pull the exhaust off. We'll look inside there and see if the oil pump's actually working. We can turn the pump by hand and see if it's got anything going on.
Oh, all right. You want to leave? You gotta go too.
I don't give a shit. You're the one that's falling asleep, not me.
No, I'm fine.
I work all night. I could give a squat.
I'm fine.
Okay, keep going then. Pull the exhaust back off. Pull off the, let's get the cam cover off. You have to pull the master cylinder off for the brake there. Continue. I worked at 2 or 3 in the morning anyway down here. It doesn't bother me.
Alright, go ahead. I'll take the exhaust off.
You gonna need an impact knocker, you think, for the cam cover, or has it got Allen's on it? Oh, it's got Allen's on it, so you're fine. Okay. All right, yeah, just get that pulled off and we'll be back.